Buenos días, es el viernes y son las 12. Hello everyone, it's Friday and it's 12 o'clock, so it's time for Community Spanish, broadcasting every Wednesday and Friday at 12. In addition, we also have Community Mandarin going, Community French going, and Children's French going, so we have a lot of different content happening live on this channel on Facebook each week. In addition, we also have Instagram Live lessons for Portuguese every week, and occasionally we have some French lessons up on Instagram Live as well, so there's even more content to check out there. One quick reminder before we get into today's video that our next La Charla, or the chat, which is our monthly Spanish conversation hour event, is coming up on Tuesday, March 16th at 5:30. So this is an event we offer every month, and essentially anyone who wants to is welcome to come practice their Spanish. It's a very kind of casual, a casual conversation hour happening once a month. And I said you don't have to be a student or anything at our school to participate. Everyone is welcome and also open to different levels. And it costs $5 to attend. If you'd like to find out more about this event or also to sign up for our next one coming up in March, you can find more information on our website, which I have in the banner below, rolalang.com. And there's a Zoom chats page that we have on our website, and La Charla is our Spanish event coming up next. So with that reminder aside, let's get into our topic for today's lesson. So we're going to be continuing in our work with por and para. So we have done a bit of review. I have done several lessons on por and para in the past, and now we've come back to review it. So if you are new to this topic, then I do welcome you to go check out on the Facebook Live page of our website. You can find a video library of all the previous videos that have been done. And so that way, if you need a bit of more background information before you get into this video, you're welcome to check out those resources there. But in the meantime, I'm going to forge ahead and assume that you do have some knowledge of por and para as we go into our review. So we have done so far one review lesson on por specifically, and our last one we did one review on para specifically, and now we're going to do an exercise where you have to put both of those skills together and use por and para in the same exercise. So first I want to do, again, just a quick wrap up of the uses of por and para so that we can just refresh our memories before we get into this final exercise. So in terms of por, as we said, between por and para, por has a few more different uses. So in general, if you're not sure about which word to use, or if you maybe don't have enough time to think about the different reasoning behind what you're saying, I always tell students to go with por. If when in doubt, go with por, because you're more likely, there's a higher probability it will be the correct word for the situation that you need. So in terms of the uses of por, we have to express gratitude. We have it in a math sense, like to show our multiplication. We also use it to describe the frequency, or kind of how often we are doing something. So it'd be the number of times per week, per year, per month. We use por for this. We also use it in a kind of geographical sense, in the sense of, I said, going through a place or along a place or by a place. We use por in that way. We also use it when we talk about different purchases or buying things. So we talk about you bought something for a certain amount. We use por in that context. We also use por in terms of saying that you do something on someone else's behalf or in their place. We use por in that sense. We also talk about it using por for duration of time. So they say how long something has lasted. We can also use por to describe a method by which we do something. So, for example, or the way we travel, or the way that we do something. So, in the case we have in our simple sentence, talking about you speak with someone by phone, or say like by phone, by email, by video conference, whichever the method may be, we can use por for that. We also can use por to describe things that you are just about to do. So, for example, we usually use a conjugation of estar plus por plus the infinitive of whatever the action is that you're about to do. And the last couple of things, and again, I know I'm doing a super fast review, but that's because, again, we're at the kind of most review stage of this, because I've made several videos about this in the past. So if you need a kind of slower walkthrough, if you need more detail, you're welcome to check out some of those previous videos. But for now, I'm just kind of going over the highlights. So the last couple ones for por, to express the cause or the reason for something, like why is something happening, we use por. And the last one is to express says source or kind of authorship, I'll say. So if it's say like who sang the song, who wrote the book, who made the painting, we also use por for that case. In addition to these general kind of areas of reasoning, we also have some fixed expressions that take por. So these ones are not really, we don't have to think about the reasoning. It's more just like we have to memorize these particular expressions. Now and then so that's kind of the wrap up of por. Now our quick rapid fire review of para, which has, as you can see, a much shorter list of uses, which is why I said at the beginning that if you're not sure what to do or you don't have time to process, always go with por. That would be like your safer choice because there are kind of more topics will fit under the umbrella of por. Then so for para, we use para to talk about our destination, where you're going. We use para to talk about the purpose of something, like why are you doing something, like in order to is often how we would translate para in this sense. We also use para to indicate a recipient, like who we're doing something for. So whether it's the case of giving a gift or something else, it's if someone else is receiving it, then we use para in this sense. We also use para to express deadlines or kind of a due date or due time. We use para for that. And then the last couple of things is that we use it to show contrast from what we would expect. So in this case, it's kind of a little bit of a structure. We use para, then usually we use an infinitive verb after that, and then we have a kind of a sentence. So for example, our case here, para ser un niño. So starting with para, followed by the infinitive verb I mentioned, and then we have a sentence, lee muy bien. So it's a bit of kind of more of a structure. So, but again, the purpose of this thing is to show a contrast between what you think it should be and what it really is. And then the last case we have for para is to express the opinion. So talking about like according to who is how we use para. So para mí, like for me, according to me, in my opinion, tú no puedes ir a la fiesta. So again, we're using this to indicate whose opinion is being expressed. So again, that's my kind of quick rapid fire review of por and para for those things. But now we're going to really get into the most practical thing, which we're going to do an exercise of using por and para together and we have to choose the correct one for that sentence. So as always, as we do the exercises, I encourage you to participate as much as you feel comfortable. Escribe tus respuestas en los comentarios abajo. So if you're watching this on Facebook or watching this on YouTube, you're welcome to jump into the comments below and share your own answers to these questions. And even if you're watching this after the fact of it going live, your participation is a great exercise in it. So don't be shy to leave something in the comments below, even if you're not watching it as we're doing live. Okay, so let's get into it. So starting with número uno, we have mi suegra va a estar con nosotros blank varios meses. And so in this particular exercise, we do have a couple of little words on the side there, or kind of our auxiliary helping words to give us more of a clue about what kind of word we're looking for in this case. So here we have durante is in parentheses right here. So that's to help us give us a clue about what answer we're looking for if it's for some reason not clear for you based on the context of the sentence. So in this case, mi suegra va a estar con nosotros blank varios meses. So we see varios meses, various months. So that could give us a kind of a clue. In addition to the word durante in the parentheses, it gives us a little bit of a clue that we're talking about a duration of time. So how long is something going to last? For various months, varios meses. So we're talking about duration. Think that uses a por, uses a para. So for this case, duration, we're going to use por. So for número uno, we have por. Y ahora repite después de mí. So let's repeat the entire sentence together. Mi suegra va a estar con nosotros por varios meses. Muy bien. And as I always say, repetition is really helpful exercise. Even though it might not seem like you're not doing much, it really helps you not only to work on your pronunciation because you're mimicking how I say it, but also it helps you to internalize the information, internalize the content, because the more you repeat something, the more you write it down, the more likely you are to remember it. So we always do a lot of repetition. Okay, número dos. So we have here starting with the blank, and it says fecha límite in the parentheses. El verano ustedes van a saber español muy bien. Okay, so talking about by the end of the summer. So again, fecha límite, which would be like a due date. So if we're talking about a due date or a deadline, we should use para. Ahora vamos a repetir todo junto. Repite después de mí. Para el verano, ustedes van a saber español muy bien. Muy bien. So it means by the end of the summer, or by summer, you all are going to know Spanish very well. Well, espero que sí, I hope so. Ok, número 3. Número 3. Suspenden el partido blank la lluvia. And we have a causa de in our parentheses. So we think suspenden el partido blank la lluvia being rain. So again, we're talking about the cause, why something happened. In this, and we also again have the a causa de in parentheses to help us reach that conclusion. So when we're talking about the kind of why something happened, then we're going to use por. So, todo junto. Repito después de mí. Suspenden el partido por la lluvia. Muy bien. So, they suspend the game because of the rain. Ok, número 4. Blank, eso es finalidad en paréntesis. Blank, estudiar bien es necesario estar en un sitio tranquilo. Ok, so, blank, estudiar bien es necesario estar en un sitio tranquilo. So to study well, or to be able to study well, it's necessary to be in a calm place. So if we think about this, again, in terms of what we know about por and para, which one will we use here? If you said para, you have the right answer. So para. So vamos a repetir, because again, versus like in order to do something, then we're going to use para. So para estudiar bien, es necesario estar en un sitio tranquilo. Muy bien. Ok. Número 5. We have a question. ¿Cuánto dinero pagas blank este traje? ¿Cuánto dinero pagas blank este traje? Okay, so we think about this one. We're talking about an exchange of money for a suit. Traje is suit. So when we buy things, you remember from this point on our summary review of por y para, which one are we going to use? We're going to talk about an exchange of money for something else. Es por. Repite la frase después de mí. ¿Cuánto dinero pagas por este traje? Muy bien. So how much money do you pay for this suit? Okay. Número 6. Carlos no deja que nadie hable blank él. So we have en lugar de as our helpful hint here. En lugar de means like in his place. En lugar de él, in his place. Okay, so Carlos no deja que nadie hable. And when we think about doing something in someone else's place, por or para? Es por. So when we talk about something doing on someone else's behalf or in their place, we use por. So todo junto, Carlos no deja que nadie hable por él. Muy bien. Okay, moving right along. On to número 7. Deben aprender esta lección blank mañana. And we have antes de, before, in the parentheses to give us a clue. So deben aprender esta lección blank mañana. So by tomorrow, before tomorrow, antes de would be before. So before tomorrow. So we're talking about deadline. And again, if we think about deadline, por or para? Es para. Para. We talk about deadlines. It's para. Okay, repite. Deben aprender esta lección para mañana. Ok, número 8. Los niños van a ir, and then we have en dirección a, in the parentheses, la iglesia. Los niños van a ir, like, la iglesia, and we have en dirección a, so we think about, this is where they're heading, talking about destination. If it's destination, por o para? Para. Es para. Ok. Vamos a repetir. Los niños van a ir para la iglesia. Muy bien. So the kids are going to go towards the church, or like for the church, they're going, they're heading for the church. Okay, número 9, dos más, there's 2 more to go to finish up. Todos lo escuchan, blank, ser muy inteligente, and we have a causa de in the parentheses on the side. Todos lo escuchan, blank, ser muy inteligente. So this is talking about a causa, because of. So if it's this case, por o para? Por. Okay, this is expressing the cause or the reason. We use por. Repite, todos lo escuchan por ser muy inteligente. So saying everyone listens to him because of his being intelligent. Because he is very intelligent. This one we can't translate exactly word for word from Spanish to English. Okay, and the last one, número 10, las hormigas avanzan, and then we have a lo largo de, in the parentheses, la huerta. So las hormigas avanzan, blank, la huerta. Okay, la huerta being the garden, like it's like the fruit and vegetable garden, and las hormigas, the ants. Okay, and so a lo largo de is like along. So we think about this kind of geography use. Is it por or para? Es por. So for this kind of, again, along, through, by, we use por to express this meaning. So vamos a repetir. Let's repeat the last one together. Las hormigas avanzan por la huerta. Muy bien, excelente trabajo. All right, so that wraps up that exercise. But I know por and para is something we need to practice again and again. So it's something that you really shouldn't stop here. You should keep going to practice with por and para. And so, as I said, if you didn't see any of the previous videos on por and para, I've made several different in this series of videos on por and para. So if you want to check out any of the previous videos that we've made, and also in addition to the videos, we've made some extra worksheets to go along with the videos, several of the videos as well. So if you want to take it a step further, even from what you practice in the video, there are even more resources there. So we welcome you to go to the Facebook Live page of the website, which is rolalang.com or rolalanguages.com. You can check out the video library of all the previous videos, and you're welcome to check out more lessons on por and para, and really on any other topic that you see up there that interests you. And also, if you'd like to explore other languages, we have all of our videos up there as well for community Mandarin, for community French, for children's French, and also children's Spanish. So there's a lot of content up there to check out. I'll next be back on Wednesday at 12 for next community Spanish. Gracias y adiós.